April 1980, deep inside a remote, blinding Iranian wasteland dubbed Desert One, a highly classified United States military rescue mission is swirling in the dark. Visibility drops to zero. In the chaos of the dust storm, an American C-130 transport plane collides directly with a heavy-lift helicopter. 8 American soldiers are killed instantly. The mission is completely aborted, and the military is forced to abandon their burning hardware in the sand. The wreckage left in the desert stands as the ultimate public humiliation of a global superpower, capping off the explosive climax of a toxic 30-year geopolitical relationship. The U.S. military was desperate enough to attempt a desert rescue because 52 American diplomats had been seized in Tehran and were being held captive. U.S. President Jimmy Carter was politically paralyzed. His administration was entirely consumed by the hostage crisis, and his legacy was collapsing. Decades prior to this standoff, Washington and Tehran actually shared a tight geopolitical bond. An obsession with controlling Middle Eastern resources turned America's closest regional partner into a bitter enemy capable of bringing the U.S. to its knees. Jump back to the early 1950s. Iran sits on massive petroleum reserves, and Western powers, primarily the US and the UK, are aggressively extracting that oil for their own corporate profit. Iranian Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh directly threatens that Western dominance by nationalizing Iran's oil industry, transferring control from foreign entities back to the Iranian state. The retaliation is swift. The CIA and Britain's MI6 orchestrate a covert coup, overthrowing Mossadegh's democratically elected government. In his place, the United States installs a pliant pro-Western monarch, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the Shah, to guarantee uninterrupted Western access to Iranian oil. By dismantling a democracy to secure short-term oil wealth through a puppet ruler, the United States unwittingly planted the seeds for a massive, radicalized backlash. The Shah implements what he calls the White Revolution, a heavy-handed, American-inspired initiative intended to rapidly westernize Iran's culture and economy. City streets rapidly transform. An influx of Western fashion, cosmetics, and alcohol floods the capital, deeply offending the country's religious traditionalists. While ordinary citizens struggle to afford basic necessities, the Shah stages grotesque displays of wealth, spending exorbitant sums on a massive 1971 military parade and party at the ancient ruins of Persepolis. Any anger over this inequality is violently suppressed. The Shah's secret police, Savak, arrests, tortures, and executes dissidents, leaving the public with zero legal avenues for dissent. From his exile in Paris, religious cleric Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini weaponizes this domestic fury, smuggling audio cassettes filled with fierce anti-Shah rhetoric back into Iran, forcing a foreign culture onto a population while relying on a brutal secret police force to silence the poor, inevitably turns a nation into a revolutionary pressure cooker. The breaking point arrives. Following violent crackdowns like the Black Friday massacre, the Iranian populace rises up in early 1979, forcing the Shah to flee the country. Khomeini returns to a massive hero's welcome. He consolidates power and officially establishes the Islamic Republic. Then, the critical spark ignites. U.S. President Jimmy Carter admits the exiled, cancer-stricken Shah into America for medical treatment. Terrified that the CIA is plotting another 1953-style coup to reinstall the monarch, furious Iranian students storm the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. The students breaching the embassy gates are directly reacting to the trauma of 1953. They take American hostages specifically to prevent history from repeating itself. This brings us back to 1980. With diplomatic negotiations completely deadlocked, Carter authorizes a desperate, highly complex military rescue known as Operation Eagle Claw. The massive scale of the rescue operation begins offshore in the ocean. This tactical map shows the intricate first phase, flight paths converging from Oman and the ocean to a rendezvous point deep inside the Iranian desert. From there, forces transfer to helicopters, fly into a Tehran stadium, extract the hostages, and escape. But sudden, severe dust storms and hydraulic leaks disable too many of the required heavy-lift helicopters before they ever leave the desert. America's reliance on overwhelming technological and logistical superiority is completely neutralized by the harsh, unpredictable geographical reality of Iran. The public humiliation of Operation Eagle Claw destroys Carter's credibility at home, ensuring his defeat in the 1980 U.S. presidential election. Iran holds the ultimate flex of geopolitical power. They refuse to release the hostages until the exact day Carter's successor, Ronald Reagan, is sworn into office in 1981. This calculated timing sends a clear message to the world. Iran successfully dictates the political fate of an American president. Despite their victory, Iran's leaders realize that to survive future American retaliation, they have to restructure their entire government and military. Khomeini does not trust the traditional army left over from the Shah, so he creates the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, a parallel, ideologically devoted military force. This new system prioritizes ideological zeal and voluntary human waves, citizens willing to fight without pay, over sheer technology, making a Western ground invasion a terrifying prospect. The IRGC expands its defensive strategy outward, funding proxy militias like Hezbollah and Hamas to fight asymmetric wars against U.S. interests across the region. The end of the hostage standoff and the lessons drawn from the burning wreckage of Operation Eagle Claw served as the crucible that forged modern Iran into a coup-proof, militarized state designed entirely to survive and defeat American power.